Lessons learned from the tornado? Well, I guess there's lessons about paying attention to the weather is probably the biggest lesson that could be taken away from the situation of that day. We were under a tornado watch that afternoon, but no tornado warnings had been issued until the tornado actually hit. And in fact, it had already hit and been on the ground on Airport Road before the actual tornado warning came out. Now, I was on the air. We were wall to wall with coverage, and I had been talking about this line of very strong thunderstorms coming out of Mississippi, heading toward North Alabama, and coming into West Alabama, and we covered it from all the way from the Alabama-Mississippi line until it got out on the Alabama-Georgia line out of our coverage area. We covered it the whole time. But we didn't have any way of knowing where tornadic winds were in the line of thunderstorms. We did not have Doppler radar technology. It had not been brought into the commercial use at that time. I think the government had it, but we didn't have it on our TV stations in Huntsville, and the airport National Weather Service did not have Doppler. They simply had reflective radar just like we had at Channel 31. So we used that to show the intensity of the storms and the hail and the downpours of rain and all of that. But there was no way to show where winds were circulating and where tornadoes perhaps were forming. So the lack of technology, of course, contributed to that day's horrible results of that many deaths. The damage, of course, would have been done anyway, but we might have been able to get a lot of those people out of those buildings along Airport Road had we had the technology of today back in 1989, because we could have seen that was a forming tornado when it was back in Morgan County and back in even Lawrence County, perhaps, as it was coming northeast toward Huntsville. So we've really improved a lot in the last 30 years. Tremendously. And even though people are still killed by tornadoes, and the tornadoes are always going to happen, at least we have the ability to detect them, to know when they're going to be forming, and to warn of them approaching with some time to give folks that are watching and listening and paying attention to the weather, give them some time to get to a safe place.